Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been excited for something and the wait for it feels like an eternity? You're scrolling through Twitter and you see that beautiful, glorious word, leaked. And you just can't help yourself but to click that link and look at it. And you get every single thing spoiled for you? Well, if you answered yes, then this video is for you. There's no doubt that leaks are everywhere. And sometimes they're hard to avoid. Games, movies, shows, books, the NFL Super Bowl scores, everywhere. Stop looking at them. Listen, I loved leaks as much as the next feral gamer out there, but that has changed as time has gone on because of a few different reasons. And today I'm going to talk about why I stopped engaging with leaks and why I think you should too. Let's take a trip down memory lane. The year was 2015. I was a big Call of Duty fan, as I think everyone was at one point or another, but I was in high school scouring timelines for any new information about the next installation. For those who don't know, Black Ops 3 had not been announced yet, but bits of info were being leaked about it, one of which was an open world aspect of the game with a central hub. Being a fan of open world games too, this sounded like one of the biggest innovations to the franchise in years. And I was proper steezing over it. I built up this stupendous expectation over how Call of Duty was going open world. Then it released. I was thoroughly disappointed with it. The multiplayer in zombies was good, but the campaign was still a linear experience. Just the combat sections had larger areas and nothing like I had built myself to believe. This was the start of my disappointment with leaks. Now what about those people who saw the NFL Super Bowl final score leak and placed their house on the Eagles? Now recently that same sentiment was shared across the Destiny community with the Final Shape showcase. If you actively engage with Destiny content on Twitter, you've more than likely seen this picture, or heard about the ever-coveted Red Darkness subclass, with many theorizing what abilities it would contain and what kind of synergy we could see in the gameplay loop. Will Titans get another melee-based super? This completes our 3 light and 3 darkness subclasses, so it makes sense. Then the showcase aired, and there's a distinct lack of a specific color here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the leak was a fake. And now we have a lot of disappointed Guardians. That's our Exhibit A. Now with that being said, we are still getting 3 new supers. Arc for Hunter, Void for Titan, Solar for Warlock. Which, they look great, but people were still understandably disappointed by this leak not being real. People were expecting a full new subclass, which that's not the case here. Now leaks are inevitable, and inevitably people will still engage with them. But I highly encourage anyone who watches this video to not. With leaks, you set a specific expectation, whether 100% legit or fake. You set an expectation where if it's a real leak, then the impact of the reveal is completely decimated. But if it's fake, then your expectations are shattered and you're disappointed. It's a lose-lose situation here, folks. You either ruin the surprise or you get nothing at all. Now this is not only disappointing to yourself, but disappointing to the devs, because something they had worked on for months, had scheduled to be revealed in a showcase in a massive grandeur, has now been leaked through a simple post in dull monochrome fashion, default Arial font. Especially if it is something to be slowly revealed through in-game story, that story feels so much less impactful when you already know the end result. And in some extreme cases, you can see the complete rewrites of stories and characters to try and reinvigorate the sense of surprise, and sometimes for worse. Or raid mechanics get leaked before the raid is released, and now the day one challenge is completely null and void when the learning phase is streamlined into a checklist of things you already know. You start to see mechanics that would take a couple hours to even understand being completed in only a few minutes, and a full raid clear in just a couple hours. Raid races suddenly become an anticlimactic few-hour stream instead of a day-long event. Now you may be one of the people who doesn't care whether something gets spoiled or leaked. To that, I can kinda understand where the hype can come from. You see something new that hasn't been revealed yet and you kinda feel like an inner circle knowledge bearer, or you feel more excited about it being revealed, which is valid. But when it's incorrect, what say you then? Suspend your belief or take it all with a grain of salt. That's my advice. With that all being said, I myself have found I feel more engaged in stories when the end isn't spoiled for me. And I feel more excitement for showcases when I don't know what features are being added or revealed. Trust when I say, take the information in as the developers give it to you. You will find yourself a lot less disappointed at the end of the day. The mystery is half the fun. The first raid completion will feel much more well earned, and that triumph will feel like a true triumph, you know? Maybe I will have changed some people's minds. If not, just try it. Go a couple months without engaging in leaks, just to see how it feels to have things revealed the way they were intended. See if you feel differently about the game as a whole. You may surprise yourself with how much more engaging it can feel. Have there been any leaks in the past that you've encountered that have left you super disappointed? If so, leave them in the comments down below. Just no current leaks, please, for my sake and everybody else's sake, because some people still like the surprise. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. I'll be back with some more D2 content in the future. Take care, stay groovy, folks. Catch you on the flip side. Deuces.